If you're a spiritual entrepreneur or a creative or neurospicy online business owner, then the reason why you are inconsistent in actually doing the aspects of your business that will actually lead to growth and flourishing is probably not the reason that you think. It's not because of willpower or executive dysfunction or even that you have the wrong strategy or you haven't found the perfect strategy. It actually comes back to the entire way that you envision and structure your business. So today we're doing a dive into the regenerative business zones, which will allow you to see your entire business entity as this thing that you are tending to and that people experience. And it'll also become, just through that process, very clear what you need to be doing on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis in order to grow your business or maintain it at its current level while it requires less time and effort from you. Now, let's start with the water that we're swimming in. So if you've been in business and online business for any length of time, you have definitely heard about a funnel, whether you are deep in the midst of it or it's something that you are actively pushing away and resisting, which is often the case if you are a sensitive, conscious soul, or even if you are engaging with the idea of a funnel or have active funnels in your business. The holdup or the pushback here is really around where the construction of a funnel even comes from. And it is, again, this water that we're swimming in, which since the Industrial Revolution has been the factory model. The assembly line emerged and then became the standard. But you can see even here in this visual representation, there is an echo here. Between the funnel and a factory assembly line. So I'm originally from Michigan, from the Metro Detroit area, which was the mecca of the auto industry before continued globalization. So in school, I remember learning about Henry Ford and the adoption of the assembly line and it creating more efficiency, it creating the middle class, it essentially creating the expansion of consumerism within the US. But other things that actually happened with this is this perspective shift around production. Going on to the assembly line are inputs, coming out of the assembly line are products. And as time has gone on, there's become more and more automation across all sectors. But now notice with a funnel. You can see this top of the funnel, this place where people are going in. The input of a funnel is a human, and the output of a funnel is also a human. But with that process of putting humans and conceiving humans as inputs and outputs of this assembly line is the objectification of humans. So if you have felt uncomfortable or icky about this whole funnel thing, or the vast majority of standard terminology when it comes to business and online business, this might be the reason why. There's this unspoken thing where the humans, which we should be in deep relationship with and interacting with and connecting with through this business process, becomes inputs and outputs. There's a sterilization. And with most cases of objectification, where these humans are essentially becoming objects, the question is, how do I use this object? How is this other human serving me? So, if you don't know me, my name is Sam Garcia. I'm the best-selling, award-winning author of Regenerative Business, How to Align Your Business with Nature for More Abundance, Impact, and Fulfillment. And with regenerative business, we are using nature as the systems designer, the systems thinker, because let's be honest, nature is significantly better at creating complex, abundant systems than humans are. Where nature creates highly biodiverse, prolifically abundant forests to grow food, humans create monocrops and factory farming. So if we, little brilliant, creative, sensitive humans, can humble ourselves and admit that nature might do it better, we can actually learn, observe, and make really grounded decisions in how to actually design our businesses in order to flourish, in order to create the more than enoughness that is inherent in nature. With the design of businesses and funnels and interacting with the other humans that we are here to serve through our business. So in 2012, 2013, I got my permaculture design certification. And back then, I know that world has evolved quite a bit in the last 10 plus years. The way permaculture was described to me is how nature would design food systems. And of course, permaculture, which was coined by a couple of old white Australian dudes, very similar to regenerative agriculture and working in alignment with nature. This is happening and has been happening for hundreds of thousands of years and currently via indigenous cultures around the world. But I just wanted to name where I learned this originally. So in my permaculture design certification, one of the things I was talked about is the permaculture zones. And this is how you would design a property or a homestead so that essentially what you needs regular care from you and what you regularly use is the closest to your home base, your literal home at the center of this in zone 0. And then moving out in the other zones are things that you need to interact with less because either you use those items less, you need those items less, or it just requires less care from you. This is a lovely illustration from permaculturevisions.com. So we can see here zone 0, this is the home, the center of activities, and this diagram was created by Ecotarium. We move out one zone, and it's kind of these concentric circles out, moving away from our zone 0 of home. The zone 1 is our high input stuff. I promise this is going to relate back to your business. So this is frequently visited areas like garden, greenhouse, the things that like your herb garden where you're using and eating herbs every day, or a vegetable patch which needs regular weeding and watering. Now, zone 2, moving out one zone, this is the moderate input area, so orchards, animal pens. Then zone 3, lower input, ponds, various crops, low maintenance landscaping. Zone 4, semi-managed, this is wild resource gathering, it could be coppicing. And then zone 5, no or little management, so the wild. And you can see as we move out, these are areas where we are spending less time and it requires less time from us. So having those further away is a smart design. Now, I realized that we can actually use this idea of zones for our actual business design. We can have regenerative business zones. Now, you can see this lovely illustration by Martha Johnson Art that she created it for my business. She's also my mother and a brilliant illustrator. So I've been talking about for years how our business is a separate entity than us. I believe it has a soul, that we are in co-creation with it. And when we're actually able to understand that our business is a separate entity than us, then we're actually able to create larger businesses. We can feel more supported and not feel like it's all on us. Maybe you have even downloaded my free meditation on meeting the soul of your business. I'll make sure to link that down below this video. Now, the regenerative business zones and this visualization of our business as an actual ecosystem, as you can see here, takes us a bit further. Because if you're able to understand that or feel the potential of your business as an ecosystem, then maybe you can see yourself within that ecosystem. And maybe you want to do that right now. Maybe you want to close your eyes right now and feel yourself and call forward yourself within the center of or a part of your business ecosystem. And you can sense how big it is or how small it is, how many valleys or ponds or areas, or maybe it's just one little seedling because it's newer. Maybe there's rivers or trails. But one of the things I love about this awareness is that when you see yourself within your business ecosystem, you suddenly realize that it's not you. It's not on you. People aren't coming for you. It's almost like with forest bathing, where there's all these studies around walking through a forest for certain amounts of time without distractions and how it changes our brain waves. It changes our nervous system, just the act of walking through a forest. What if your business is the same way, where people are transformed by engaging with walking through your business? Whether that's on the pathway where they're just on your email list, reading all your free stuff, or they're working directly with you as a client, but just them walking through and having a relationship with your business ecosystem, it's like forest bathing. They're having their own experience of it. And maybe if we go back to that visualization of you being at the center of your business ecosystem, you can see people walking past you and thanking you for having created this business. They're so grateful that you created all of these things around them so that they can experience them and engage with them. And you realize that people aren't actually pulling on your energy. They can actually have their own experience of this place that you've created. So with that, let's look closer at our regenerative business zones. So at our center point, we have this zone zero. This is you at the center of your business as the founder. Even if you have graduated and a team mainly manages your business, you still planted that first seed. You're the founder. What we want to do in here are activities that nourish your energy. Now, I like to think about this on the mind, body, magic level. And I like to think of this as a daily thing, right? It's really close to the center. Just like the herb garden, you're engaging with it every single day. Zone zero, these are things that you're engaging with daily. How are you caring for your mind on a daily basis, whether that's mindset work or meditation or subconscious reprogramming, body, feeding yourself well, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, having a movement practice, and magic. So how are you engaging with the unseen forces? Whether you work with planetary deities or land spirits, or you practice feng shui, that's what we're doing in zone zero. Now, if we go out of zone one, we're thinking about the people who are already clients of yours. They're already customers. They have purchased something. So in zone one, these are activities that nourish the people already in your ecosystem. So this could be responding in your group's Facebook group, checking in on a client, creating a new resource for a program, attending live calls with people who are in your course. It's close to the center because without caring for our clients, we will not have this spacious, beautiful business that has natural, prolific growth. Now, with zone two, if we move one zone out, these are activities that support your business. This could be your team. This could be creating a new product. This could be figuring out how to automate or simplify processes in your business. How do we actually support your business? And then moving out one to zone three, these are activities that nourish people interested in your work. So you can see that zone three around here. These are not people who have paid you, but these are people who have raised their hand in some way that they're interested in your work. They're curious about it. So people on your email list, people who follow you on social media, subscribe to your podcast, people who you have done sales calls with, but never became a client. And then zone four, these are activities that help more people find you. So zone four out here, I think of this as the wilderness. If you remember back from this diagram right here, it requires no or little management from you. It's out in the wild. But out in the wild, these are strangers. These are people who don't know you. So what are the activities for people who are strangers? They don't know you in any way to find your work. These people on inner tubes coming in on a river into your business or having that welcome sign on the trail. I'm sure you're familiar with these activities. So like posting on social media, sending a cold pitch, recording a new YouTube video, running ads, those can all be zone four activities. So when you look at this, you might notice immediately that you like hanging out in certain zones of your business. And you completely avoid other zones. Some people are on point at posting on social media. They're so good at the zone four activities, but then they completely neglect zone three. They never actually send sales emails, or they forget to email their list completely, or they're so much in the mundane side of their business that they forgot that they can actually access magic and the support of unseen forces. They're neglecting that zone zero. So what I ask of my clients and would recommend for you is on a monthly basis, go through each of these zones, whether it's the first of the month or every new moon. It becomes a recurring rhythm in your business to check in on these zones and decide how you actually want to commit to them in the coming month or the coming lunar cycle. Not all of these zones require daily activity, depending on your business model, depending on the marketing channels you are devoted to. But you having a rhythm where you're coming back and checking in will make sure that none of the zones will be neglected. And maybe month after month, you're choosing the exact same activities again and again. Beautiful. But you might find that you do want to experiment with other things. You do want to do certain things more frequently or less frequently. Good rule of thumb, or a generalization, I should say, is for our zone zero, you want to be doing stuff daily. For zone zero, daily mind, body, and magic. For zone one, taking care of your clients, this does depend on your business model. but you're doing something at least weekly. Having a weekly commitment, I would say, is bare minimum to take care of that zone. Zone 2 is a little different. The activities that support your business. Like if you have a low ticket business model where you creating new products and funnels all the time is important, then you might be doing a lot of stuff in zone 2 all the time. But if you have a simpler high ticket business, your zone 2 activities might just be monthly projects. So once a month, you decide on what is the project that I'm going to focus on this month for zone 2 for the activities that support your business. For zone 3, activities that nourish people interested in your work, minimum, I would say, is weekly. Like at least send that weekly newsletter, you guys. A weekly nurturing or sales email to your email list. And then zone 4, so dependent on your business model and your marketing channels of, are you posting on social media 3 times a day to play with the algorithm? Or is it more on a weekly basis where you're putting out that weekly podcast episode or weekly blog? You're most likely doing at least a weekly thing for zone 4, unless you're one of those word of mouth people where you're all proud of your entire business being word of mouth. And I mean, such an amazing place to be. It means you're amazing at your work and you have very happy clients who want to talk to their friends and connections about you. Amazing. But it's also a very risky situation for an online business because when you're dependent on referrals, it's mostly out of your control. And I've seen so many people have thriving word of mouth businesses that dry up out of nowhere. And because they haven't been doing any zone 4 activities to help more people find you, it's created what feels like a desperate situation. So highly recommend doing a weekly zone 4 activity. So I'd love to hear in the comments about what you want to commit to over the next month for activities you're going to be doing for zone 0 all the way to zone 4. What are you doing daily, weekly, monthly? And if you're feeling unsure of if your business model, the business model you currently have, is the right one for you, watch this video next, where we talk about high ticket versus low ticket businesses and launch strategies, which will cover all of these zones because not every business model is right for everyone.